everyone, this is Marika and welcome back to another session with me. As we are dealing with the sixth unit, we have discussed about several teaching learning methods, right? What are the different methods of teaching which is used in a general classroom setup, as well as we have discussed about the clinical teaching method. We have discussed what is a case study, what is a case presentation, what is a field visit, and also what are nursing round and bedside clinic. Today in this session, we are going to discuss about a type or a method of teaching which cannot be termed as a method of teaching, but it is used to impart knowledge to the students. It is not basically a proper teaching learning process, but it is a process in which the teacher get to understand about his student better, about the student's problem better. The topic for today's discussion is individual conference. Let us see in detail what it is, what are the different purposes, advantages and disadvantages of an individual conference. Individual conference can be defined as a conversation with a purpose. So as the term suggests, individual conference. So the term suggests here that individual conference is a meeting or a conversation that is held among two people with a particular purpose on mind. We can simply call it as an interview. In an individual conference, the teacher may impart knowledge to the students about a new aspect or a new field. The teacher may also introduce new knowledge to the student. And also the teacher can help the students strive better to acquire or for the acquisition of the knowledge. The teacher can motivate the students to acquire the knowledge and the skill. Now, individual conference can be held or can be conducted for several different purposes. Okay, it is not necessary that individual conference is carried out in order to find out the problem of the student or to understand the problem of the student. It can be conducted in order to achieve various different purposes like giving direction to the students or providing guidance to the students, obtaining the progress report of the particular student, suggesting the solution for a particular problem, that is professional or personal problem of the student, or even for discussing a particular specific client which the student is assigned with. Here we have to understand, even though individual conference is used for various different aspects, we have to understand here only one particular individual or one particular student is chosen for an individual conference. Okay, so the student is chosen, the problem that the student is facing, maybe in terms of academics, maybe in terms of their professional field, or maybe personal. The student may also have a problem, or the student might also want to discuss about a particular patient to the clinical instructor. It can also be used at that particular time. Or it can also be obtained the progress report of a particular student or a particular client. Let us now see what is the definition of individual conference. Individual conference can be defined as a teaching tool which primarily gives the opportunity to discuss the students' professional problems privately. So as I said, individual conference includes a student and the teacher. So here what happens, the student's problem, that is professional student problem, which the student wants to discuss with the teacher, can be discussed in the individual conference. So it is a teaching tool which is primarily focused on discussing and solving the professional problem of the student in private where other students are not involved. Individual conference is a very important aspect and is a critical tool of supervision. It is usually arranged in order to facilitate communication, in order to share feedback, and also to discuss the matters of the student in a private or a confidential area. So I hope you've understood what is an individual conference. In an individual conference, there is a teacher and a student involved. It can be simply called as an interview, or it can also be called as a conversation with a purpose. Here, the student is usually taken as the center of attention. The student might want to share the problems with the teacher in a private area. The teacher is there as a guide and helps the student to solve the problem. It may also be conducted to discuss a specific patient that is assigned to the student, or to even guide the student in general. Now let us see what are the purposes of an individual conference. The first one is to clarify the personal and professional doubts of the students. So if the students are having any kind of doubts, whether it is related to their personal life or professional life, the teacher is there as a guide, as I said, right? So the teacher helps to provide guidance to the particular student. So in order to clarify the doubt of the student is why individual conferences are arranged and conducted. The next one is to answer the queries and clarify the doubts of the student personally. So not in a group or not in a classroom setting. If the student have any kind of doubts, if the student have any kind of queries, the student can meet the teacher individually, or the teacher can organize an individual conference where the doubts will be cleared privately and personally for the student. The next major purpose of individual conference is to find out about the interest, needs and problems of the individual student. So as I said, individual conference will help the teacher to have a better understanding about the particular student. This will give the teacher idea about what the student is interested in doing, what is their interest, what is their point of view, what is their need, and how the teacher can motivate the students for their betterment. Next purpose is to help the students help themselves so that they can achieve self-development. So as I said, in an individual conference, a particular student is the center of attention. The student's problem is discussed, what the student has doubt about. If the student have any kind of queries, the students ask the queries to the teacher. The teacher is there as a guide or a counselor who helps the student to overcome that problem, or who helps the student in different field in which the student requires help, right? So this all will help in the development of the particular student. Therefore, individual conference is helping the student to help themselves to have self-development. Next one is to help in supplementing the classroom instructions that are provided. So individual conference will help the students to have a better understanding about the clinical instructions that are provided to the student. Okay, so when the students are taught something in clinicals, if the students have any kind of doubts or if they want to clarify about anything, they can go to the teacher personally and ask for an individual conference, ask their queries and doubts so that they get a clear picture about what clinical instructions they have been provided with. So it will help to supplement the clinical instruction that are provided to the students. Let us now move on and see the various advantages individual conference has to offer. The first advantage is that individual conference will give the opportunity for the teacher to understand each and every student personally, know about their strengths and weakness, and also about their interest. So individual conference is giving the opportunity to the teacher to understand the uniqueness of each and every student in the class. The next advantage is that, as we have discussed in an individual conference, we discuss about the progress of the particular student as well, right? Here the students will get the opportunity to know about their progress and their achievements. Okay, this will help the students to get inspired, or it will motivate the students to work better for their future. The next advantage is that it provides an opportunity for individual teaching and guidance. So when the student have any kind of doubt, or if the student have any kind of clarifications to be made, the student goes to the teacher. So here it is a one-to-one interaction. It is a direct conversation between the teacher and the student. So it will provide opportunity for individual teaching and guidance for the particular student. Next one is the students will also feel secure in the environment where their problems are not discussed openly and is discussed in a private setting or confidentially. So when we have any kind of problem, we do not want to discuss it in front of a large group of people, right? We do not want to discuss it in front of people who are not very close with us. So the students also will feel secure in the environment to open up and to communicate about their problems if it is discussed in a private area personally. Next one is it provides excellent opportunity for individual learning. Of course, as I said here, the teacher and the student sits individually. They sit together and talk about a problem. They discuss about a topic. They clarify the doubt of the particular student. So it will give the opportunity for individual learning as well. Let us now see What are the disadvantages of individual conference? If the teacher has any kind of prejudice or if the teacher is biased towards any student, the individual conference will be a means for the teacher to demonstrate it, right? So if the teacher is biased towards any of the student, the individual conference may not turn out to be good for all the students. The teacher may be biased, the teacher may be very good for one particular student, whereas she might not show any interest to solve the problem of another student. If the teacher is biased towards any of the student, this does not turn out to be fruitful. Next one is that the student may not be very comfortable and may not share all of his problem to the teacher. So there is obviously a chance that the student might not open up in front of the teacher. And the last one is facing the teacher all alone without the support of any of the classmates or the group member might create anxiety within the student. The student may not be able to communicate with the teacher. So these are the various disadvantages of individual conference. To conclude, today we have discussed a very short topic, that is individual conference. Individual conference cannot be basically called as a method of teaching. Rather, it is a method for the teacher to understand the students better, the students to also clarify and learn about various new things from the teacher personally. So it can simply be called as an interview that happens between a teacher and the student, where they discuss specially professional problems of the student. It can also be used to discuss a particular client. It can also be used to discuss the progress of a particular client as well. There are various purposes of individual conferences, which is to help the teacher understand the student better, to help the teacher to understand the interest of the student, strength and weakness of the student. It will also give the student opportunity to have an individual learning as well. We also discussed about the advantages and disadvantages individual conference has to offer. I hope the class was helpful, and I'll see you all in the next session, where we will be discussing another important aspect that is related to individual conference, which is group conference. Thank you and have a great day ahead.